Welcome to episode 1 of the Perfect Game, a battle report series by the Warlords of Walsall. My name's Jacob and I play Circle.
And I'm James and I play Trials.
This episode has Chris using Makeda2 against Graham using Maddox in Storm Division. The scenario being played this week is spread the net from the first week of the steamroller CID series. So James, what's Chris taking?
Right, so Chris is using the currently very in trend Makeda2 double cats list. It's got Supreme Archdomina Makeda2. We've got a Basilisk Krea, a Cyclops Shaman, and Molik Karn, who is a bonded war beast. So the bond is that he gets sidestep while in a battle group. He's also got Tyrant Rhadeim, 2 units of Ferox, a min unit of Paingiver beast handlers, 2 Mortitheurge Willbreakers, which you'll be using to put tough on both units of cats, most units turns in the game. And then he's got Orin Midwinter and a Swamp Gobber chef. And it is so weird to look at a list that isn't in theme nowadays.
That's true. Speaking of themes, Graham's using obviously Storm Division. So you've got Major Beth Maddox, who's got a Squire, which is free in theme. Brickhouse, her character Warjack. Her bond is Retaliatory Strike. We've got a Stormclad and Ironclad, Captain Olin's Strange Ways, a Journeyman with a Firefly, Ladamore, a Costa, who's also free, minimum Storm Lances, Stormblade Infantry with the Officer in Standard, and 3 Storm Gunners. So yeah, a quick note about the scenario, I suppose, is that most people are aware by now, but in the rectangle zones, only Warjacks can control, and in the circular zones, only Warrior models can control, and Warcasters and Warlocks can control any zones, and the flags are Warlocks and Warcasters only as well.
It looks like they've used the scatter. The 2 in each quarter, isn't it? I think is what they've used.
I think so, yeah. I think we were trying out all the different methods at the club on that week, and I think that's what they used.
The quadrant one, or whatever it's called.
Yeah,
it's weird to see the infantry. Like, I'll be interested to see what they get up to.
Yeah, well, to be fair though, they hit quite hard, don't they, with Maddox?
Yeah, absolutely. She's got an infantry strength buff. That's why you often see her with trenches and things like that. Just things that generally, you can hit pretty hard for Signar, and obviously you can kind of keep them safe on the approach with all the defensive stuff she's got, and the fact that there's Arcane Shield in there as well.
Yeah, that's true. I think is Dauntless Resolve has gone on that unit of infantry by the looks of it. I think, and I think so. And an Arcane Shield on the Storm Lances up the top.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, a lot of this game is going to be about trying to. There's quite a few attacks that can be mustered by the Signar player, so it feels like the plan is to see if Chris can expose as few cats as possible, because it's a lot easier. It's a lot easier if you can only attack 2 or 3 cats, that you might not even lose a single cat in a turn. So it really is. It's not just about moving forward as a block. He really does want to, not give away early cats, and then obviously as the game goes on, the cats snowball out of control because the less attacks you have, the harder it is to keep them alive.
Yeah, absolutely. That's true. What's the armor on the cats? Is it about 17, something like
that? Probably. Let me just check. It's under Krea as well, isn't it? So we are looking at base 17. Against me, that's going to be 17, obviously, but we could be looking at 19 if he shoots. It's not a hugely shooty army. I mean, obviously, you've got the Lances, but it mostly feels like, it's a melee list that you'd run alongside a more shooty list, but probably Haley too, because Signar.
No, seems fair. I was just more thinking of Electro Leaps, like if you start chipping away at the cats and then they're on like 1 wound each, and you can get some Electro Leaps onto them. You don't have to necessarily hit the high defense of the cats and that kind of thing.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure you can stay deaf anyway, because obviously the big thing here, if you don't know, is that Makeda2 has got stay deaf. So basically, the whole point is that she's trying to keep those 10 cats alive. They'll get tough, as we've already said, from the Mortitheurge Willbreakers. And basically, it's just about keeping cats alive with stay deaf. And you'll actually see, depending on what happens, there's a big chance that Makeda is not going to cast a single spell this entire game. She's literally just going to be there to spend 6 focus every single turn, 6 fury, sorry, just keeping cats alive.
Yeah, well, it works, doesn't it?
It does, absolutely.
Yeah, so I mean, in terms of Chris is kind of kept the cats reasonably safe, I guess. They're all in range of redeem, presumably. And they've all got tough, and I think probably only the Storm Lances can get into the cats at this point.
I'm a little bit worried. He's probably presented like I'm not really sure what he's doing with that wedge shape. Like he's got a wall there. He could literally just offer like 2 up, and then the rest of them could be safe behind the wall.
Yeah, I mean, just give the Stormlancers the ones behind the wall because I mean, you're not giving up any ground on the scenario, really. I mean, because you have to win by 6, you can afford to.
And they're so fast as well.
Exactly.
Like the cats.
Surely they outthreat the Lancers, don't they?
Yeah, absolutely. Because I mean, again, another thing they've got is they move and they can move. I'm going to check, but I think it's 8. They can walk 8 and then they can jump, which takes them another 5 inches. And they've got spears, not lances, so they've got 2-inch reach all the time. So we're looking at 15 inches, and that's without him casting dash. We expect him not to cast dash, but it could be worth if you could get the alpha onto a unit of Stormlancers, for instance, who are only going to be threatening 11, 13.
Yeah, and you've got 15, so there's no reason to put yourself in range of the Stormlancers. Really, you kind of want Graham to commit the Stormlancers to you, don't you? Without giving up almost anything, really.
So I do think it's a positional mistake, and the problem is it's one of the hardest things to get around in this game. Is just not just moving things forward just because you always feel like you should. Like sometimes, sometimes you actually don't move forward at all, or sometimes you just sit in your own control phase, your own control area, and say what you're going to do. And obviously, he's got to put some pressure onto that scenario, onto the other side of the scenario. But by the same token, Graham is committing almost nothing to the bottom scenario on the screen, or Chris's scenario as it would be. So
I was about to say that actually, because you can kind of almost trade control points, can't you? So it's like, okay, fine, I'll stay at your Stormlance threat range, but you've taken off 20 points worth of models there by Lattimore and the Stormlancers if you kind of just leave them alone for a bit.
Absolutely, and any scenario victory, he's going to want to go for that objective that's sitting in front of the cats. So again, if he's coming for that, then you're going to be in Ferox charge range. He could be 3 or 4 inches further back, and have absolutely no problem. But it is the problem. You always walk into threat range. To be honest, I'm looking at it and I'm saying, is he in range of the Stormguard infantry as well?
Oh, that's a good shout actually. They're speed 5, and they do have they only have a 1-inch reach on their melee weapons, but they do have range 4 compared to have guns.
Does her feet not grant reach? Am I thinking of a different caster?
Good question. They gain +3 power and beatback.
Okay, so no is the answer to that one. So their 9-inch threat, I'm not sure. I mean, that's a 12-inch zone.
It looks like that. There's a probably good chance that they're in range of at least the front Ferox. So, it's probably worth actually just chucking some in there and getting some damage in. I'd have thought.
Absolutely. Well, here come the Lancers getting 3 attacks, as we said. Again, it shouldn't be happening because he out-threats them.
Yeah, and that's the thing as well. You don't, because you want to utilize that defense 13, don't you? So you don't really want to be taking cavalry charges if you can avoid it.
Absolutely not. And the beautiful thing about it is Lancers don't hit that hard once you get them engaged. Once they're not getting boosted attacks anymore. So the idea of just getting them engaged is really, really useful. And again, it's a min unit as well. Of all the lists I've seen, this is one of the ones that should have the least trouble with a min unit of Lancers. I don't know, but it is what it is. But again, I think it's been a learning experience in that regard. He doesn't play against a lot of Signa, and so it's just is he charging the objective there? You can't.
No, it's a flag, and it's I think he's just charging in at one of the cats to get some electro leaps. And it's reached the redeem by the looks of it.
Electro leaping off your own lightning immune models. Much to the chagrin of everyone that's ever played against Signa.
Yeah. It's a good thing Lattimore, she leaps D3 on all of her attacks. It's pretty crazy stuff. But does she get to... it's +2 to attack rolls, isn't it? Oh, range damage rolls. Oh, okay, great.
They get +2 Mat and Rat, basically.
Yeah, it's just Stormlancers, though, so she doesn't get it, I don't think.
No. But they're Rat 7 at that point, which is essentially whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, so it looks like there's been some stay death usage already because there's hardly anything next to Makeda. Yeah. So it's a pretty built up unit of Ferox that are over there.
And
they're in range now, I guess. Oh, and here we go. Yeah.
Yeah, and as we said, he's in range as well. He's just gone through the
rubble,
rough terrain. So what's given him Pathfinder? Is it a feat turn or is it? Has he finished?
I bet Maddox has got assault. Not assault, onslaught.
Yes, she has. Yes, she has. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what the token next to Maddox is. So she's got onslaught. They must have +3 armor and tough, and then the Stormlancers of Arcane Shield,
Lovely.
which is nice. That's pretty great.
Yeah. Yep.
So let's see how many cats die at the end of this turn then. So it looks like he's used most of his stay deaths on the other unit.
Yep.
But these guys hitting at what? They're mat 7 though.
Yep. And the thing is, the cats are only defense 13 in melee.
Yeah, it's a decent defense, but once you're mat 7,
Yeah,
you should be hitting most of them, I think. And then obviously getting some electro leaps off if they have electro leap.
and I mean you can see how many attacks. I mean, he's finally lost the Ferox here. You can see how many attacks Graham's had to make to get past all the stay deaths and the toughs and stuff here, and you can imagine, if you weren't getting this quantity of charges, how much better situation Chris would be in.
Oh yeah.
And the thing is, he hasn't got to contest the zone because one, he's the second player, so Graham can't score anyway, and it is almost impossible to jam this list up because they can jump into the zone.
Yeah.
So he hasn't got to worry about being jammed at all.
Yeah, exactly. That's true.
It's
a bit strange, really. I suppose you could use the cats to kind of bait in maybe like one of the units, but I think you don't really want to leave them both in range.
Well, I mean, you've seen here, he took an entire charge off the Lattimore and the unit of Stormlances and didn't lose a single cat.
Yeah.
If you was only exposing 2 or 3 to them, then the amount of tax is going to be lower, and it's all about facing. And like he's got that building there, for instance, that building in the middle of the board would have been beautiful as a way to kind of limit the facing that's going to be on what he can, what could fight against him.
Yeah, that's true.
And they don't care about the building because they can literally jump over it.
Yeah,
and get in rear arcs. They can do that, but it's just it's bad to lose 2 cats on the bottom of 2.
It's bad to lose 2 cats when you out threat even the Stormlances by 2 inches in melee.
Yeah, absolutely. So, but it's not an easy lesson to learn, and that's the thing. It's not easy to think. Actually, I'm just going to shuffle forward 2 inches, and I'm just and I'm going to let them take all this board.
Yeah, and in fairness to Chris, he did kind of point it out as one of the things that he picked out as one of his key faults was giving away 2 cats on the top of 2, which he didn't need to do. So,
and at the end of the day, it's not a. I mean, it is a criticism, but it's more of a constructive criticism. It's every game is a learning game. What else do you play at club? I mean, this isn't a tournament or anything. This is just a game where you try and get better.
Yeah, exactly.
And
it's also sorry, carry on.
No, carry on. Carry on. It's fine.
I was going to say it's interesting to kind of, as the first week of Steamroller, I know at this point in the recording we've all had multiple games and it's now into the 3rd week of the CID, but on the first week, I suppose the approach to the scenario on the first game that you play of it is possibly how you approach 2016 Steamroller. So you want to be quite aggressive on the scenario to make sure you don't lose it immediately, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, the idea of going 3-0, like I know he can't lose on this turn, but the idea of there being so many zones and you losing 3 control points in 2016 sounds terrifying. It sounds like you've just basically lost the game.
Yeah.
But going 3-0 down isn't as big a deal as long as you keep it in mind and you're willing to contest the next turn and you're willing to commit to it.
Yeah.
It's tricky here because I'll be interested to see how the attrition goes now, because obviously Chris is going in and cleverly going for Lattimore. Is he going in the back of that Stormlance? I probably think he'll go back into back defense because those Ferox are mat 6. And their defense 13 cav. I would want to be going in the back and trying to roll 5s because remember that the jumps are boosted damage but not boosted hit rolls.
That's true. That's the nice thing about the cats, actually, isn't it? Like if you go and attack them, you don't kill them obviously because they stay death, and they're still in your back arcs, still getting the boosted damage. It's really nice.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
And it's a nice kind of hit buff. Kind of hit buff them. They can get back arcs and they can get around shields and stuff like that, and do their jumps, which are. I think they're boosted Poe.
Are they 12s?
I think they're 12s, yeah.
Yeah, pounce during activation. Mate damage rolls automatically boosted and mate's power 12, yeah.
Yeah. So it's just, obviously, you don't want to be having to roll 7s to hit, especially when you've got so few attacks. So getting in the back's pretty important.
Yeah.
I'd even be tempted, I mean, if you had like a max unit of cavalry and you knew you were going to accept the charge, to kind of flower them. So if you're fighting against the cats, I'd be tempted to put models facing out in all directions.
Oh, I see what you mean, yeah.
Yeah, and just kind of say, you know, you can jump to the back lot, but you can be fighting the front of someone's base.
Yeah.
If you're fighting against this kind of list.
Yeah, I mean, he's already taken off one Stormlance. He does some damage to Lattimore by the looks of it. Taking off another Stormlance. So even with presumably Arcane Shield on them, they've still taken out 2 of the Stormlances and hardly taken any damage in return, really, I suppose. I suppose they are weakened, but it's still a full unit.
And that's the beauty, that you can do something like jump around the back, and then you can reposition so you're still facing forward. You're not presenting your back to the enemy by doing it. You're still going to get a reposition to turn back round again, which is part of why they work so well.
That's true.
And I think he's going to use Rhadeim here to kill the last one.
Interesting question, because Brickhouse has moved up into the zone, so he's not very fast, but presumably he could get in the, if Chris puts anything into that circular zone, Brickhouse could probably get to it. He's got force hold. Does that? It'll obviously stop the advance of a cat. Does it stop the leap? It doesn't, does it? Because it's a placement.
I mean, let's have a look, shall we?
Where is it? Force hold. Enemy models beginning an advance within 2 inches of this model cannot advance except to change facing. So presumably they not go anywhere, but then they could do their leap because it's
After it makes its full advance during its normal movement, but before it performs its combat action, you can place this model anywhere completely within 5. So you could sacrifice your movement and then just do a jump.
Yeah.
Or pounce. Whatever.
So Brickhouse can slow them down. He can't tie them down exactly, but he can slow them down where they can only like leap.
It's tricky as well because it only works if you start your movement in his control. So it's not like a full force lock from Mark II Trolls kind of thing. It's not that thing.
Yeah. Yeah, he'd have to like move Brickhouse into the unit, wouldn't he?
Yeah, absolutely. Is that Molik?
Yeah, that
looks like Molik.
Molik's coming on there.
And I was about to say that I thought he should have gone into the zone, but he's going to use the side steps to get into the zone, by the looks of it.
Yep. Yeah, he's doing a few attacks. Graham's not passed any of his tough rolls from Dauntless Resolve, is it?
Yeah, he's still not in the zone. I don't know. I don't know how much he needs to commit to the zone. But I suppose he's got the other cats, and he's trying to keep Molik safe.
Yeah, he's just fake walked back into his own zone, isn't he? So he knows he's going to get a point at least from that scenario because Graham hasn't contested this turn.
I think that's a troop zone.
The rectangular one.
Yeah.
That's beast.
Am I wrong?
But it's beast.
Oh, okay. That's good. So he's going to get the first point. That's pretty good. He's not contesting Graham's one.
That's true. Yes, should be 1-1 at the end of this turn then.
Absolutely. And then the Cav's going to do what the Cav does there, and both players seem to have not realised there's a flag on the board, which is fine.
Yeah, but only Warcasters and Warlocks can get it though, can't they? And it's, I suppose, the one at the top was never going to be Makeda's never going to go over there with the Stormlances.
No, that's fair. It kind of. I wonder if this is sometimes going to get played like a radial scenario where both casters sit on their own flags and kind of you play a diagonal game across the middle, from corner to corner kind of thing, like the pit.
Yeah, probably. I thought so. So
cool.
So Shaman's coming in here and doing some attacks on the.
Yeah. It's just quantity attacks, just trying to get everything,
Yeah.
And again, it's just he's got the cats in the zone now, so he's contesting as well.
Yeah, that's true. So yeah, it'd be interesting to see whether Graham feats next turn. Presumably he'll. There's not really many great it's not really great targets for the feat in that respect, is there? I mean, there's only really Molik in terms of like heavy war beasts. So.
Yeah, I mean, he didn't need it for the cats either on the charge. So I suppose you just save it for either if you want Maddox to one round a beast late in the game, or I suppose that's probably the main one. Yeah.
Yeah, or if he ever gets to attack Molik Karn, just to go in with some high power attacks, just in case Chris asks him to reroll the hit rolls and he misses a few, kind of thing.
Yeah, you can actually more likely to afford to boost as well if you need to.
Oh, is that Acosta by Brickhouse? I almost missed him there. What's he do these days? Mat 9, Power 12, two Power 13 Weapon Masters. Swift Vengeance as well. Oh, okay.
Does he still have dodge as well?
Dodge, yep, and Riposte. And he's got 2 range 4 Power 12 electric guns as well. He's pretty decent.
I'm glad I never had to play against that when it was being taken by heavily free players.
Oh, God, yeah. Yeah, Defense 17 Acosta that dodges and ripostes, and yeah, I'm glad I missed out on that as well. So yeah, so he is presumably he's got his Swift Vengeance move.
Yep.
So he can make 3-inch advance and a basic melee attack. So he's just moved up a little bit.
Yeah.
He'll be pretty good against the cats actually, won't he? Mat 9, Power 13 Weapon Master.
It's another one of the it's one of the slight problems with this list is the Scorn list lacks good boostable guns, so it's hard to remove key solos.
Yeah, the Shaman's not too bad, I suppose, but maybe should have.
I mean, it's a boostable 12. It's all right, but you know,
Acosta's only got 5 wounds, I guess. I don't know. He'll probably go in, kill a couple of cats, and then Molik will kill him or something if he commits to the.
I mean, isn't Acosta defense 15 base or 14?
Yeah, he's 15-15 with 5 points.
He still needs a boosted 10.
That's true, actually.
And
if he misses him, he can dodge forwards, and yeah, okay.
And he's on a small base, so there was that whole unit of infantry in front of him, kind of thing, and the cats and.
Yeah, doesn't he? I thought the Shaman ignored.
Oh, hello.
He's got those shot, ignores line of sight, concealment and cover, yeah.
Does indeed. There we go. That tells you how often I've seen Scorn on the table.
I only know that because I played against Chris. Then he had a couple of Shamans in it. So the reason I know it.
Again, he could be abusing that building more. I suppose
good point.
Because of the line of battle, it's not there as much. But if he'd got a chance to go first, especially, you'd expect the Shaman to be up behind that house. And in fact, think how much stronger they're going to be in the new scenario packet, where there's going to be line of sight blocking terrain in the middle of the table.
Yeah, I was about to say that actually. If that rubble was a forest instead, this list would be pretty strong, wouldn't it? You got cats and the Shaman just being able to get you from anywhere without needing to kind of play the game that everyone else is playing. If that makes sense, they can hide and jump over stuff. So,
well, the scenery's kind of set up in kind of a funnel.
It is.
Like especially if you were playing something like a men-off Jack list, where it hasn't got a lot of Pathfinder, or hasn't got any Pathfinder.
Oh yeah, you'd know exactly where they were going, wouldn't you, if you're playing against men-off Jacks that wasn't with Ammon or something.
Yeah, absolutely. And especially something like the cats that want to provide as little face as possible. You could absolutely, be a massacre.
Oh yeah,
this would be.
Yeah, you'd abuse him in that centre zone, wouldn't you?
Yeah, absolutely.
So there we go. Graham's contested with an Ironclad.
Yeah.
Oh, is he tempting in? He's putting himself in line of sight of Molik there. Wonder why.
Is it a lack of Pathfinder?
Oh no, he's moved him back, I think.
A little shuffle.
Yeah.
Is that in control range?
I think it's miles out of control range, I think.
Oh
no, he's got Arlen Strangeways, hasn't he? So we can.
No, he just moved her.
Oh, he's moved her? Okay,
yeah,
sure.
I mean, I'll be honest. I mean, I saw him in the trench and all. You have to be wary about cats jumping on your caster. But other than that, there's so little range threat in this list. I mean, as we talked about, there's the Shaman, and that's,
He ignores the cover anyway, yes. There's no need to sit in the trenches.
Yeah, you can actually play pretty far up, and you can spend a lot of focus, as long as as long as you can make sure that you can survive the one shot, and you're out. The line of battle is at least 5 inches away, so that you can't pounce over the line, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah, I was about to say he's moving more down towards the bottom of the table now, which is obviously further away from the full unit of cats next to Lattimore.
Yeah, and just obviously think how much better. I mean, Chris attrition really well that turn. Imagine how much better he'd have attritioned if he'd have had 2 extra cats.
Oh yeah. That could have been extra, quite a few extra dead Stormblades in the centre at least, or could have got a couple onto a Costa even
Yeah,
by leaping over the top.
and you can see how there's going to be a limit on attacks. I mean, obviously Brickhouse can come in as a second wave and do some work, but there's a definite, there's definite attrition really well the cat list does, unless you can hit it hard early, which is what obviously Graham did.
Yeah, and then now the Stormblades are stuck in anyway. They're
Double one.
Yeah, they're doing some work now. So yeah,
1 and 2. What's your dice, Graham?
he needs to swap them. He's not swapping them.
Yeah, and that's a 1 and a 3, so he's just missed 3 attacks in a row, and each of the 3 cats, and that's a 4.
And they've all dodged out.
So he's rolled less than a 5 4 times, and he's dodging every single one. I think. So they're all out of combat now, but still contesting the zone. That's heartbreaking.
Yeah, it's bad luck, isn't it?
What mat are they? Are they 7?
The Stormblades 7, I think. I'll double check that. They are mat 7. Yep.
So he failed to get 6 on all 4.
Yeah, the officer is an 8 as well.
Oh. Well, you didn't even get a 5 on any of them, did he? So that tells you everything you need to know. You rolled less than a 5 4 times.
Yeah, that's bad luck. But actually, I suppose it's a good point, isn't it? Like after the initial charge, now it's kind of stalled a bit, hasn't it, in terms of damage output for Graham against the cats? So
yeah, I mean, you can do incidental damage, especially if any of them are tough. You only need to do 1 damage to hurt them.
True.
I mean, you're only looking at getting up to a power of 15 or sorry, it's 18, isn't it? So what are the infantry? Are they
power 12?
So I mean, what, it's a 6?
No, sorry, they're power 13 on their melee weapons.
So like a 5 does 1 damage to it, which is fine.
Yeah, the leader's power 15. So yeah, and if he gets the Firefly up there, some Electro Leaps, some power 12 Electro Leaps, that'll chip away.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and again, because you leave so many cats on 1 life, if any of them tough and stuff, and they dodge away and all this stuff, and they can you can kind of present the ones that are on higher health. There's always going to be cats that you can just incidentally damage. So
yeah,
that's another thing. You don't need the charges. It's nice when you charge initially, but after that, it's not really the end of the world.
No, that's true.
And especially because every time he stays death, obviously they're already on 1 box.
Yeah. Oh, Brickhouse has moved up. It's going to be difficult to kill Brickhouse, I think, at this point, unless he gets Molik Karn involved. I
think the plan is definitely Molik Karn. I think he's is he in Molik Karn's range there? Molik Karn's range is like forever, isn't it? He's
speed 6 with reach, isn't he? So he's at least 11, and he can sidestep off a. Yeah,
I think if he wants to kill Brickhouse, he's going to require the full set of attacks. But he looks in 11 to me there.
Oh yeah, definitely.
The question is, though, if he does that, he's no longer contesting the zone.
Good point. He could put a beast handler in there, couldn't he?
He could. I'd be worried about.
Oh, there's that Gobber chef thing that someone on YouTube posted up. Use the Gobber chef to take the fury off Molik Karn by eating the Gobber chef. But obviously, it's friendly faction, isn't it? So you'd have to have a Gobber chef near a Paingiver, and a Molik Karn would have to eat the Paingiver. If that makes any sense. Yeah, his measurements in the Ironclad now.
So they've.
What's that?
That's confused me.
What, the Gobber chef thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, it gives the comfort food rule to friendly models within its aura, but the comfort food rule is I'll get it on my
No, I'm looking at the Stormclad chef now, and it makes sense. So the only time you can ever eat the Gobber chef as comfort food is either if you've got if you're playing minions, or if you've got one of the minion war beasts like Wrong
Guy Slapjaw and like Rorsch and Brian and
that kind of thing. I've seen people do that, and very good players. In fact, players that I'm not going to mention that are on WTC teams have eaten their own Gobber chef against me.
It's a simple mistake to make, isn't it?
Well, I thought it was absolutely illegal until you sort of said that to me, so that's quite shocking. But there we go. We learn something every day.
There you go then. Gobber Chef 101.
Yeah. And in fact, I mean, would you want to eat a beast handler? There's not a lot of eatable models in this list. If I'm completely honest.
No, probably not. But I suppose if you need it, it's there, isn't it? I guess.
Well, I'm thinking about it. There's 4 in a min beast handler unit.
Yeah.
And he's only got 3 beasts, so I suppose you could.
Yeah, I guess you could, couldn't you? And at the end of the day, the Gobber Chef, it's a 1-point model that can contest the zone. Certainly in Steamroller 2016, it can just run in Def 14. You know.
Well, I know you've played them as well. It's not just the Def 14. It's the fact that if they ignore them and you get a backstab in there, they can do some serious work.
Yeah, they can do. So. Yes.
Well, when you're scraping around trying to clear models and you try to look for every attack possible, and you go, oh, the Gobber Chef's got backstab and speed 6. Oh, I'll send him in.
Yeah, you might as well,
oh look, he's a power 8 weapon master. And
yeah, just chuck him in there. He'll do all right.
He's only mat 5 though, but he's in the back and he's got 3 dice. Well, that'll do then.
Yeah, he's just easy mat 7 power 8 weapon master. That's better than a lot of my infantry. That is actually. I should take more Gobber Chefs.
He was saying it was a good idea. Someone was suggesting that you could, if you took them with Calandra, just because
turn people around.
Well, it's not just that; it's the Starcrossed as well. There's so much synergy between Calandra and the Swamp Gobber Chefs, because they're not easy to remove at Defense 14 Starcrossed.
That's quite cool, actually. Does her feet work on them as well, or is it friendly faction?
It'll be friendly faction. I think all the feats are friendly faction nowadays.
That's a shame, because that would have been good.
Send him in, re-roll those 1s and 2s. Beautiful.
Oh, that'd be great. Yeah, so it looks like Molik's going in on the on Brickhouse, I think. Oh, actually, is he?
No,
he's not. Okay.
So I think the plan here is to kill a few more, to fate walk back into the zone, and put yourself out of line of sight of the Ironclad, which I don't see how it'd get through the forest. It hasn't got Pathfinder natively, has it? Can't gain Pathfinder. Oh, it gains Pathfinder because of her spell.
Yeah, because of her onslaught. I was just checking that to see if it was warrior models. It's all models. It's friendly faction models gain Pathfinder or gain Relentless Charge. Sorry.
So he'd need line of sight. I'd hope he'd get the laser out and just check to make sure that there's no line of sight there. I mean, I don't think there is.
I don't think there is, but I'm sure they'll check it if they charge. But,
definitely. But if I was placing my model, I'd always be, just checking for line of sight.
I suppose, in fairness, actually, could Molik Karn kill Brickhouse without using Fate Walker? I mean, sorry, can he kill it with enough spare to use Fate Walker?
I don't think so.
Because I'm just wondering, because there's still a Stormclad in Graham's zone. So if he sends Molik Karn in to kill Brickhouse, probably gets killed by the Stormclad, doesn't he?
Yeah, absolutely.
So actually, it's probably a better idea just to stay out of everyone's threat range and just do a bit of attrition work.
Yeah, absolutely. And just, hope that you can, once you've killed those infantry, you can start working on maybe with a couple of cats and stuff. Yeah. It's all right. I mean, you can see he's winning that attrition battle, and now it's can he kill Lattimore
as well at the top?
You gotta hope. You gotta hope. Is that 4 cats? 5 cats?
It looks like all 5 cats trying to kill Lattimore.
Yeah, I mean, come on.
Oh, he's having some bad rolls though.
I think Graham had pretty bad rolls.
No, there we go. She's off the horse. Yeah, I mean, like once Lattimore's out of the way, you can have cats like jump in the way of the Stormclad, and then Molik can go in and whatnot and get rid of Brickhouse and that kind of thing.
It's the problem now. Like, it's dealt with all the infantry, and now he's got to deal with, 4 jacks.
Yeah,
that's not easy. That's not easy. That's going to be his problem. And it's one of the weaknesses of the list. Like, it's very, very survivable infantry, but it doesn't have the highest hitting power.
It's true. Do you reckon on the top unit of cats, I know he's reformed 1 into the zone, do you reckon the others should just reform like further back so the Ironclad can't get in and get 3 or 4 models in his melee range?
I mean, again, I think he's showing too much face to them, especially as that water is essentially not featured, not there because
because of onslaught. Yeah,
exactly.
you want to keep you want to keep him as long as possible, don't you? Really, as well, and threaten Maddox, because then if Maddox can't afford to give anything to the Warjacks in terms of focus, then it's good for you, really.
Definitely. And obviously, as the screen you can actually kind of avoid the cats because if he's giving focus out to fuel the jacks, one of them just walks 8 and then jumps 5 and he's on your caster. You can see that there's starting to be a bit of pressure on Graham here.
Yeah.
In regards to, the cats should be starting to pressure him. I mean, we'll see how many he kills this turn. He's provided a lot of space again to attack with. And like you said, if he just put one in the zone and put the others further back, potentially Graham has to send a Stormclad in on one cat and then it's going to die. Hopefully.
Yeah, exactly.
I would be tempted. I mean, I know Molik Karn's really, really good here. I would be tempted to take maybe a harder hitting beast package. Maybe some kind of elephant that can just come up at the end and just clear out everything that's left.
Yeah, maybe. That's probably not a bad shout.
I mean, I know the Shaman's good for... it can get rid of stuff like Rebuke, which is really, really useful.
Yeah.
So it depends the way you want to go with it, to be honest. As I said, if you could have 2 cats and then you have 3 heavy beasts, you'd be happy, but you'd also be, playing way too many points up. There's always problems with whatever way you want to play the list. And I think losing the cats early is not ideal.
Yeah, they're the focus of the list, aren't they? You want to keep them as livers. I mean, look at him already. He's lost those 2 initially, and then not lost a single cat.
Another thing he wants to be setting up. Oh, I've just noticed that Rhadeim's been decatted.
No, it's a shame you can't stay dead that cat.
Because if we're talking about armor cracking in this list, sticking Storm Rager on Rhadeim,
yeah,
and sending him on a Jack's pretty good.
Yeah, pair 14 armor piercing attack.
Yep.
Yeah, no, yeah, that's not too bad, is it?
No. But it's one of the benefits of going first. If you go first, usually he has a chance to get Storm Rager out first turn.
Oh yeah, because then he doesn't have to worry about holding on to his fury for any potential stay deaths, does he?
Yeah, and again, Chris could have sat outside of threat range of everything.
Yeah,
Graham had, and then cast it anyway. Because as we said, the scenario is not live and he can't be jammed unless he's more than 5 inches away from the zone.
Yeah, which seems unlikely.
Yeah,
that would ever happen. But yeah,
as in Graham would have to get past the zone and then another 5 inches just to stop him
leaping into the zone. Yeah,
just leaping into a zone.
Yeah, it seems a waste of time, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. It seems very unlikely.
Yeah. So Chris has done a couple more stay deaths on this central unit of cats, and Graham's missed another attack and there's another dodge.
Yeah. And it's tilting as well. It is so tilting to fight against them, and they're tough. And you're counting all the toughs going, come on. And then you get through a tough, and then he stay deaths it. And then you miss an attack that you should hit. Like when you boost an attack and you miss, like a 7 or whatever, it just absolutely tilts you.
Yeah, because you've got to make sure every attack counts, don't you? Because as soon as you miss, like you say, it's just... everything just becomes so difficult.
And people make mistakes when they tilt, and a part of it as well when you're playing a list like this is you can't tilt when you roll. He's toughed another one, and it dies. Oh no, he stay deaths.
Yep.
Yeah, this is the way it works. And he rolls a 5, and then we tough. Yeah, I mean we could just commentate like this the whole time. It is literally just like we roll, we tough, we roll, we stay death, we roll, we miss, I dodge out.
Oh, and she's right onto the flag.
Yeah. And not on the hill, which is an unfortunate positioning, but there we go. And moves the Squire because he's a good signal player.
There's not many guns, though, that can threaten him, I suppose, is there? It's just that Shaman.
Yeah. And Arlen is...
Is he towing the back of that zone? I think he is, isn't he?
He is, and I think he's also providing,
Oh, so yeah, he can give some focus to Brickhouse, can't he?
Yeah, he can, and he can allow Brickhouse to be, to get You can power him up next turn. Is that right?
Yeah, he's got Empower, Island Strange Ways,
Yeah.
along with he can give a friendly faction Warjack evasive as well. Play him at his own game. Although Brickhouse is only defense 11, so
He rolls, he hits,
toughs.
he toughs. Yeah, exactly.
He rolls, he hits, and he don't. I know he doesn't.
No,
Misses.
you know, missed him, dodges out of control, and you can just see how frustrating this can be. He has dodged out of the control zone.
Yeah, so Graham will get a point, won't he?
Yeah, and he'll get
Unless he misses him with his spray and he dodges back into the zone.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't think he's going to spray one of the ones that are within 2 inches of the zone.
Yeah, it's a fair point. He probably won't. It's looking like he's not.
Yeah.
But that would have been good though if he had.
Yeah, definitely.
He's not doing any damage. Fails the tough. Stay deaths.
Yeah. And is the whole pile gone now? Is that the last stay death?
I think so. Yeah.
I can't see any more.
But Graham's running out of attacks, so I think he goes to 2 though. So I think it's 2-1 a scenario.
Yeah. Another interesting point. I think there's not really. I mean, has Maddox got any offensive spells that you would want Orin Midwinter for in this matchup?
She's got Electrical Blast.
So that's a no.
I didn't even know that was a spell.
So I think it's getting to terms with the list and stuff like going, in this matchup I don't need Orin Midwinter. Let's send him up and throw out some, boosted chain lightnings to help clear inventory early on. Sorry.
Yeah, I suppose against this list it doesn't matter, does it? Because they're all immune to electricity. But in other lists, you're right. If this wasn't Storm Division and it was someone else that didn't have any offensive spells, you'd be like, yeah, okay, we'll clear some inventory off.
That's a very good point.
But against this list,
I sometimes forget that Signar are so bullshit. How
can you possibly forget that?
I'm like, yeah, use that lightning ability. He might as well charge him in melee then,
Yeah, get your sweet power 9 void stuff. Get that stuck in.
Or actually, more importantly, he could use him to contest a zone.
That's true. He can use his talisman tokens actually to make additional melee attacks or boost attack and damage rolls. So he can, if you wanted to get into melee, you can do some boosted power 9s, which not great, but it's better than nothing. So yeah, it's a bit of a.
It's a grind. Let's be honest about it. Like,
it's always going to be a grind, though, isn't it, against Makeda and the cats?
It is. Again, if you're looking for something to do, if you've got a better range threat than Graham's list offers, it's really, really nice just to get it to stay deaf down and then just try and shoot her off the table when she's got no fury left on her, or more likely by having range threat, even if it's just a caster with a good assassination, you force her to not stay deaf down as low, and it means the attrition game is a bit easier.
Yeah, that's true.
It's a lot like Mark II Harbinger in the fact that you've got to try and keep Makeda honest.
Yeah.
Other cool things you can do, if, for instance, you get a lot of attacks on a beast in a turn, it's good to attack beasts and to ignore the cats because generally she'll fill up a fury up, on the beast to 6 so that she doesn't have to cut each turn. And so if she doesn't actually stay death at all because you don't make any attacks, she suddenly ends up in a situation where she's like, oh, right, that's what my beast frenzy in then.
Yeah, that's a good point, actually. Yeah.
Yeah, she's moved up to the flag there, if you notice, as well.
Yeah. It seems difficult at this point for Graham to contest, really. I think it's kind of like... I suppose you can chuck the Warjacks in, and it's going to take Chris a while to kill them. But
he is, but they're out of control, so he's not going to be giving them large amounts of focus. It's unlikely he's going to get a Jack assassination.
True.
I would like to see Orin moving below where Molik Karn is and just contesting that zone so that Molik can get himself more involved. If that makes sense.
Yeah, no, I agree.
He's moving cats to contest not sure how. I don't know. I'm not sure how needed that is. I mean, he's nice to threaten her, I suppose. But
I suppose you probably.
If she's camping a few, are the cats really going to do anything?
Probably not. And I think Maddox has got nothing else better to do other than just go after them anyway. I think.
And I dislike sending two, because what you're basically saying is, here's one for you to kill, here's one for your Jack to kill, which would otherwise be doing nothing this turn, and then you can both carry on doing exactly what you do. You can contest that zone, you can carry on sitting on that flag.
Yeah.
Like, you're giving him things to do. If you just put one there, you contest, and potentially if you contested closer to that building, either the Jack has to come out of the zone, or Maddox has to come off the flag.
Yeah, you want to make sure both of them are quite far away, don't you? So that Maddox can't return to the flag.
I mean, I'd literally only send one.
Yeah.
I don't see the point in sending two. Yeah, you only need one to contest.
I mean, in fairness, you might be able to just run a Paingiver at some point as well. Just send one cat in this turn maybe, and then just Paingivers.
Or Orin again.
Or Orin, because he's not doing anything. So yeah, just send Orin in.
Exactly, and he's just like, I mean, they're out of stay death. They are dead next turn, 100%, because they're out of their control.
Yeah, good point. That's true. Yeah, probably would have kept them in the zone.
And he's now sitting there saying, "Oh, I'm gonna have to send Molik in to deal with these troops. I've sent my cats away." I don't know. It feels like he's just suddenly gone off the rails a little bit. I mean, he's going to win over that other side, but he's just giving away 2 more cats for nothing. That's potentially the 4th cat. I mean, he actually hasn't lost a cat.
What, since the top of 2?
I think he might have lost 1 since the top of 2.
Oh yeah, you lost 1 in the top unit. Yeah, because there's only 4 left there. But yeah,
just it's astonishing. I mean, he's lost Rhadeim's mount. He's dragooned down to just on foot. But other than that, like, he's not losing cats.
No, I mean, we talked about it early on, didn't we? Like how big of a mistake it was to put yourself in threat range of both the lances and the Stormblades. But
I mean, he's literally just thrown those cats away.
Oh yeah, those 2. Yeah, he has that. But I mean, I can see why he's done it. But I mean, yeah, you're right. Probably should have only sent the 1. But I mean, even so, he's still got most of the cats left this late in the game.
Yeah, absolutely. But again, we're talking about what. In reality, you've got 12 models in this list that do work. Maybe 13 if you want to include the Shaman.
Yeah, good point.
And he's just thrown 2 of them away. And he already threw 2 away. So, I mean, and Molik's gone in and Molik hasn't Fate Walked out. So Molik is probably dead.
Yeah, I'd have thought so. Because I think Maddox hasn't feated either, has she? And
no.
Brickhouse is for some reason Mat 8. So he's probably going to kill Molik.
Yeah, I don't know. I think he could have literally just ignored this. I don't like the move round to the scenario so that you can't keep your cats in stay death. I don't think the scenario is live enough for this to matter. I think you had an attrition advantage, and I think you play to your winning conditions, which is kill all this stuff, and then you can score as much as you want later on, or you can just win because you'll be on, more control points or.
The later this game goes on, the better it is for Chris, isn't it? I mean, all you've got to do is make sure you match whatever Graham's getting on control points. You've got second player advantage you've got the last turn of the game if it goes to 7. So
and he was up on attrition, and the later the game goes, it's not better if he loses those 2 cats, which obviously he's going to lose probably 3 cats this turn. If we assume he's definitely going to lose the 1 next to Brickhouse as well, I'm not sure if he will. I don't know. The main problem he's got is. If he stay deaths all the way down, that other Jack.
Oh, the Firefly.
Yeah, like you don't want it shooting Makeda.
Yeah, actually, Junior Warcaster's gone actually, so the Firefly's
inert.
Yep.
Okay.
The cat jumped over and got the Junior.
I did wonder what that cat was doing there. I obviously missed that when I was too busy listening to the sound of my own voice.
Yeah, no, I think a couple snuck round the Stormclad and. Got the. I mean, those 2 Jacks in there. That Stormclad's out of control. That Firefly's inert. I think at this point, though, Chris is quite low on clock, isn't he? If I remember rightly.
Well, we'll have a much better idea of this using our new clock system the next time that happens. So, you know, we won't be just guessing.
That's true. That's true.
Absolutely. So we are going to have a new system that will tell you the clock as we play, which we obviously realise that it's not ideal at the moment, and that'll be coming in the next few weeks.
Yeah, it'll tell you digital clocks. It will tell you the clock. Hopefully, it will also tell you control points and a turn as well, since that's now an important thing.
Oh God!
So,
if it lasts, there was a bit of Twitter feedback there. You've seen he's just promoted the cat, so we already lost the one cat.
Yep.
He's going to lose those two. I think Maddox has moved round and she's beating on a cat.
Who dies?
Tough. Dies. No, out of stay deaf. I imagine the Ironclad is going to walk up and do the exact same thing.
Oh, Brickhouse has got quite a bit of focus.
Yeah. Well, he's going to kill.
Oh, yeah, he's going to kill Molik, isn't he?
Molik Karn.
Yeah, I forgot Molik was there.
He won't be for long.
No, I think there's Maddox feated as well. I think she's feated at this point.
Can't tell. Graham doesn't like being flanked with tokens, clearly.
That little shield token is what he normally uses for a feat token, I think.
Okay, fair enough.
There's been no other reason to use it up until now, so I suppose you might as well use it at this point.
Yeah, absolutely. Especially get some charges in it, even if it's just to kill the cat yourself and make sure you do enough damage.
Yeah.
Right. Is he killing Molik here, I think?
I think so, yeah. Cool. Okay.
He's getting some decent dice to make up for all his misses earlier.
Yes, he is. Yeah, there goes Molik. Graham might clear the zone in the middle this turn.
I think he might.
I think he has.
Do we have any idea what the CP are?
I think Graham was on 2 at the start of this turn, and Chris was on 2. So Graham will likely go to 3-4.
And
Chris will probably go to 3.
Yeah, he's not going to contest that flag.
No, I can't see what he can contest it with, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it looks like 4-3, I think. There might be another one scored elsewhere that I missed, but I think it's 4-3 to Graham currently.
No, that's a frenzy check.
And he's going after the last remaining member of the Stormblade unit, I think. That looks like the officer.
So, are we saying that... So, are we saying that beast handler wasn't in his front arc?
Yes, we must be saying that. Is it closest model in line of sight, or is it just closest model? I think it's irrelevant now.
It's close model in line of sight.
I feel like it's closest model, but, well, it doesn't matter. It's happened now anyway. It's too late. It's too far gone.
Well, I mean, then he would have just killed that. And, again, you don't need to stick 3 of them in a zone.
Yeah, just one will do.
Stick 1 in the zone, stick the rest to walk into the zone the next turn. Like, he could possibly lose 2 or 3 this turn.
Yeah, I think Maddox does actually have a ranged. She has a gun, so she could shoot one. It's what range? It's range 10 per 12. So,
well, I mean, I'm pretty sure the Ironclad can actually see.
Yeah, and the Ironclad can at least see the one, and if she casts Onslaught again, it can get stuck in
and kill 2 or 2 or 3 of them. Yeah, absolutely.
It might even knock them all down so they can't run and contest the flag. Still got that quake thing, hasn't it? Tremor, yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be quite cute, wouldn't it, if he did that?
Yeah, not a lot of models left on the table though. It has all attrition down. Again, it's just
those three extra cats would have been nice, wouldn't they?
4.
Yeah.
I suppose. I don't think you need to contest these flag with a cat, especially when you've got, you know. Is that Orin still sitting at the back pointing?
Where has Orin gone? No, I think Orin's been killed. I think that's a Mortitheurge. Yeah, next to Makeda's a Mortitheurge.
Okay. So you probably sent him in on a jack and just, you know, took some melee attacks.
Yeah, I think he was in the rubble.
Fine. But I mean, if you look what he's got now, he's got what? 4 cats, a Krea, a unit of beast handlers that are nowhere near the Krea to turn it into a melee thing, and he's got Tyrant Rhadeim.
Yeah, and he's got a Shaman, doesn't he?
Yeah, he hasn't got the ability to chew through 2 heavy jacks. I mean, I suppose your best chance is to just try and put some pressure onto the caster, but again, if you move them out of your stay def range, Tufts and stay def's out of focus, out of fury now, I think.
Yeah, Makeda.
Yeah, she stay def enough, so. But I think she's survived again because I think he's taken all the attacks he needs to.
Yeah.
One of the really frustrating things that people make as a mistake when you first play against this double cats list is if you start attacking a bunch of cats and then you go and kill a beast, they can read the fury off it and then use them to stay def again.
Yeah, good point.
I mean, he hasn't done it this game, but if you're going to kill a beast, kill it at the start of the turn.
Yeah, kill it first, yeah.
Or the end of the turn, but don't kill it in the middle. Because that's about as bad as it gets.
Oh god, imagine doing that.
Yeah.
Oh, and there we go. I think this is the point where I remember that Chris ran out of time and just shook Graham's hand. Thanks for watching our first official episode of The Perfect Game. We will be streaming the Welsh Masters this coming weekend on our Twitch channel at twitch.tv/Warlords of Walsall, the videos for which will be uploaded on YouTube shortly afterwards. In the meantime, give us a subscribe and we'll see you next time.